man born as an adopted child who dropped out of college after just one semester and was later fired from the very company he created. And yet, he returned to change the entire world with a small device in your hand today. This isn't a movie. This is the story of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was born on February 24, 1955, in San Francisco. His father was a Syrian named Abdul Fattah Jandali, and his mother was an American named Joanne Schiebel, but circumstances forced them to give him up for adoption. He was raised by a humble family, Paul and Clara Jobs, who gave him love and support, always telling him, "You are not adopted, you are chosen." From a young age, Steve was extremely curious, always dismantling and reassembling gadgets, wanting to understand how everything worked. He enrolled at Reed College in Oregon, but after just one semester, he dropped out, feeling he was wasting time on things he didn't love. But here's the twist. He started attending calligraphy classes, which years later made Macintosh computers the first with beautiful fonts. In 1976, at just 21 years old, Steve Jobs co-founded Apple with his friend Steve Wozniak in a small garage. It was the Apple I, followed by the Apple II, which was a massive success and turned them into millionaires. But Jobs' vision didn't stop there. He wanted to make computers a personal device for every human being. The idea resonated, making computing personal, simple, and accessible to everyone. But success didn't last forever. After internal conflicts and management disputes, Jobs was fired from Apple in 1985. Imagine being kicked out of the company you created. But he later said, "Getting fired from Apple was the best thing that could have ever happened to me." After being fired, Jobs founded two companies, Next and Pixar. Pixar revolutionized animation with Toy Story, the first fully computer-animated movie. By 1997, Apple was near bankruptcy, and they had no choice but to bring Steve Jobs back. That's when a new era began. Jobs introduced products that changed our lives. iMac, iPod, iTunes, iPhone, iPad. Each product was a revolution in itself. One device in your pocket, replacing hundreds of others. In 2011, Steve Jobs passed away after a long battle with cancer. But his legacy remains, not only in Apple, but in the way we think about technology and creativity. Steve Jobs taught us that failure is not the end, but the beginning of a new path.
People say you have to have a lot of passion for what you're doing, and it's totally true. And the reason is because it's so hard that if you don't, any rational person would give up. It's really hard, and you have to do it over a sustained period of time. So if you don't love it, if you're not having fun doing it and you don't really love it, you're going to get. Ever wonder what this pocket's for? I've always wondered that. Well, now we know, because this is the new iPod Mac.
What's the most important thing that you personally learned at Apple that you're doing at Next?
Good question. I'm not sure I learned this when I was at Apple, but I learned it based on the data when I was at Apple. And that is, I now take a longer-term view on people. In other words, when I see something not being done right, my first reaction isn't to go fix it. It's to say, we're building a team here and we're going to do great stuff for the next decade, not just the next year. And so
what do I need to do to help so that the person that's screwing up learns, versus how do I fix the problem? And that's painful sometimes. And I still have that first instinct to go fix the problem, but that's taking a longer term view on people is probably the biggest thing that's changed. And then I don't know, that's, maybe part of that's biological.
If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment and share. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.